book called The Nazis in Newark that was written with my help. A great guy, Warren Grover, friend of mine, wrote a book called The Nazis in Newark, which documents every war, every battle that took place between the Jews and the Germans. And I can assure you that the Jews came out winners in every one of those battles. Jews, by the way, there were a lot of prize fighters from Newark. We had a lot of guys. And I'll tell you a cute story. My father was partners with Hymie Kugel. My father was involved in prize fighting along with a lot of other activities. And the Newark had the Laurel Gardens had a very famous boxing arena. And sure enough, guys would fight, guys would box. And my father's partner was Hymie Kugel, who was the Jewish referee. Hymie Kugel, there's nothing objective about Hymie Kugel. If a Jew was fighting, he took good care of him. But a lot of guys fought under other names because they didn't want their parents to know that they were fighting. So one night there was a fellow by the name of Greenberg, and in the first round he got hit and knocked down. Now Hymie Kugel goes over to him and he says to him, listen, I'm going to give you what we call the Jewish count. And it goes like this. 1. He waited about a half an hour. 1.5. And then finally, out of desperation, he says to him, Schmuck, Greenberg, you dumb Jew, afzaluchas, on purpose, I'm telling you, get off the canvas. I'm being kind to you because you're a dumb Jew. Greenberg looks up at Hymie Kugel and he says to him, what's this bullshit about being a kind Jew? He said, I'm not Jewish. My father's Italian and my mother's Irish. Hymie Kugel says, no shit. 7, 8, 9, 10, you're out. So there were prize fighters that fought, there were gangsters that fought, and they beat them up. And that book is a wonderful book, but also at the same time, up here in on Amsterdam and there was a German enclave up here, and I can't remember the section. Huh? Yorkville, right? Yorkville. Thank you. Who said Yorkville? Huh? I'm not gonna overcharge you on the book tonight. I was gonna overcharge you, but you saved yourself with that one. Meyer Lansky was contacted by Judge Perlman. Judge Perlman said to Meyer Lansky, see what your friend Lansky is doing in Newark, New Jersey? I want you to go up to Yorkville and do the same thing to Fritz Kuhn. He's speaking up in Yorkville. I want you and your guys to take care of him. When Charlie Lucky Luciano heard what was happening, he went to see Meyer Lansky and he says, Meyer, I'll give you as many of my guys as you need. And Meyer Lansky, in his Jewish pride, he says, Charlie Lucky, thank you. I really appreciate that. But this is a Jewish problem, and it's going to be resolved with Jewish fists. He went up to Yorkville with a bunch of guys, and they slaughtered those guys. They slaughtered Fritz Kuhn. Same thing happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. David Berman, Sam Turan, Herman Pastor, Yudi Bloom, all those Jewish gangsters in Minneapolis took on an organization that was known as the Silver Shirts. Did a fantastic job. Beat the living daylights out of those guys. And then Chicago, every city, Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, Los Angeles, wherever there was, you have to remember that in the 1930s, we had rising tide of Jew hatred on a high level. Charles Lindbergh, Joseph Kennedy, Father Coughlin. Any of you remember all these different stories? If not, I'm glad that I could tell you about it. So all over the United States, in Chicago, The guy that was the leader was Barney Ross. Barney Ross was a Triple Crown Jewish prize fighter, a champion, and a hero at Guadalcanal. An incredible human being, very dear friend of my father. And he and the guys in Chicago took on the silver shirts and took on the Ku Klux Klan and took on the Nazi movement in the United States. One of the guys that fought with Barney Ross, his name was Jacob Rubenstein. Does anybody recognize that name? Yes, sir. Jack Ruby. Very, very good. Jack Ruby was incredible. A Jewish hero fighting the American Nazi Party, the Silver Shirts, the Ku Klux Klan, and one of the other organizations that existed at that time in Chicago. That's right, Jack Ruby. The same one that was involved in the shooting of Lee Harvey Oswald, all right? Which, of course, always raised the question, what did the mob have to do as far as Kennedy is concerned? Okay, let's get on to the next subject. Next subject was